Near Mint Condition, the home of collected edition.
That cover's so awesome.
Absolute format is the best way to own this store. Time to empty those wallets and fill those shelves.
Hey everyone, this is Amazing Amanda, and today we're going to be doing a quick review of Resonant from Vault Comics, so stay tuned. Hey everyone, so first and foremost, I want to give a big thank you to Vault Comics for giving us a copy of Resonant, the complete series, to review. Now this book is available everywhere where you can purchase graphic novels and comic books. It is a collection of all 10 issues of the comic, and the comic is by David D.B. Andry, and then the issues are actually illustrated by both Ale Aragon, who did the first 5 issues, and Skylar Partridge, who did the last 5 issues. So now I want to give you a little bit of a pitch of this comic book series. It is what I would like to call a mix between Bird Box, if you've seen that movie, The Road, and The Odyssey. And it's basically a story of a single father named Paxton and his 3 children, and they are living out in the middle of nowhere, trying to survive what I can only describe as the series of waves. And these waves are essentially some invisible force that lets out the worst of humanity. And so a lot of people in the comic book are trying different maneuvers and tactics to fight off the waves. Some of them give in to the urge with the wave. But you also already know whenever the wave comes, because there are these things called chirpers, which are basically cicadas. And whenever they get very loud and very boisterous, you know that a wave is about to hit. And so Paxton, the father, has his own ways of dealing with that, which is through meditation. He has his children tie themselves out so they don't do things like hurt themselves when a wave hits. Now, the premise of this book is Paxton has to go and retrieve medicine for his one son, Steph, who is extremely ill. And he leaves his children behind while he goes in search of the medicine. And of course, through the 10 issues, you see the trials and tribulations that Paxton goes through in order to get this medicine and get back to his children. And meanwhile, you also see his children, his daughter and 2 sons, deal with the fact that they are alone in this post-apocalyptic world where they have to rely on each other in order to survive. And that's pretty much all I want to say as far as a synopsis of the story, because it is one of those stories that you really don't want to give too much away because a lot happens in it and it goes in unexpected places and you really want to see where this winds up. So I don't want to give you too much, but I do want to kind of give you my review of the book overall. So as I had mentioned before earlier, it does play a lot into a lot of things we have seen, a lot of media we've seen before, like Bird Box, for example, or The Road, where you have this family that is going through this post-apocalyptic ordeal. And in this case, you have the idea of these waves, which I'd mentioned before, kind of creates this way of where you kind of release your most feral parts of yourself as a human. And throughout the book, you see people dealing with that in different ways. And I think the writer does a really good job of showing how humanity would deal with something in this similar way. It can go from where they may use something like religion to deal with it, or they may give in to it and use it at the expense of other people. And it is really interesting to see that play out throughout these 10 issues. And even though it's only 10 issues, there's a lot of story packed in this 10 issues, just between your main 4 characters, Paxton and his 3 children. Let's first just briefly talk about Paxton's story. I like where the writer went. What's really interesting and unique about this story is Paxton and his children are African American, and it's very rare you see a story told like this from the viewpoint of a single African American father going through these trials and tribulations. So I like that they took that unique turn in order to tell the story of this post-apocalyptic world. And you see Paxton going through all these trials and tribulations in the same time, you're seeing also his children dealing with it in different ways. His daughter having to step up while his middle son is kind of rebelling in a way while he's gone because he has his own, wants and needs and is tired of maybe being alone and secluded. And that is a theme that runs throughout this book as well, is the idea of, what does it mean to be human and what are these urges? What does it mean to give in to them? What does it mean to be a part of society or not be a part of society and function as a society when you have this urges, these feral, undesirable traits that can pop up, and that's what the wave brings out in everyone. So it's really interesting to see how that is portrayed throughout the series. I will say there were some times in the story where the cuts might have been a little too abrupt and it might have been hard to get back on track to, okay, where are we at with this character and how did they get from point A to point B? And that was a little bit distracting for me. The other thing that I was a little bit distracted by were some of the characterizations or growth of some of the characters, some of the secondary characters. The main characters, I think he really put a lot of time and effort into seeing the growth of both, particularly Ty and Beck. Steph, the youngest son, he didn't really need to put too much of the characterization of like his growth, because I think the main point was seeing the two older children and how they grew, and of course also Paxton, the father figure in this piece, seeing his progression of going through and seeing all these different people in his journey, because he actually, had to go and leave their secluded place to go and find the medicine that he needed. And I really like the way he was able to portray that journey overall. So let's also talk about a little about the art, because like I had mentioned before, the art is actually done by two different artists. The first 5 issues are done by A.L. Aragon, and then the second are done by Skylar Partridge. And honestly, I did the first read-through straight through, and I really couldn't tell a huge difference in the art. And I like that because it gave that continuity, so I wasn't completely jarred when I had to also already go from a different artist. And I think a lot of that has to do with the coloring too. The colorist did a really good job of maintaining the themes of the novel, of the books throughout. So I think that was a key part of why I never felt that there was some sort of a break of continuity, because the art and the color just seemed to blend so well together throughout all 10 issues. There's a lot of great splash pages. The artwork for the cover pages are particularly alluring as well. I really enjoyed getting to see some of that. And I just liked the way there was a certain grittiness to the artwork that really lends itself well to a post-apocalyptic world. So I think that really heightened the entire story for me as I went through it. What they do with the book is they actually split up each issue with one of the cover arts, but then at the back of the book there is also a gallery of different cover variations as well, so you can take a look at that if you wanted to. But yes, overall I particularly enjoyed this book. It was a great, quick, easy read. I actually read it on a flight I was taking for work, and it was very easy to get through. I enjoyed the story immensely, enjoyed the characters, could not put it down. Just like I said, minor gripes with some of the characterization, but nothing that would have stopped me from reading the book. So overall, I think I'd have to give this series a 8 out of 10. It was a very strong series. Very much enjoyed it, very much enjoyed the artwork. And if you are interested in purchasing this book, you can purchase it from any one of our sponsors.
If you're in Europe and you're interested in buying these books, definitely check out Walt's Comic Shop in Berlin, Germany. They have the cheapest pre-order prices, flat shipping rate of €12 for all EU countries, emails answered within 24 hours, waltscomicshop.com, and you can use the code nearmintcondition at checkout and get free shipping for all EU countries with your first order over €40. That's Walt's Comic Shop, your reliable source for omnis and premium collected editions in Europe. Ding!
CheapGraphicNovels.com, your online home for graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They have excellent shipping and prompt and helpful service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And don't forget that CGN also takes pre-orders. That way you don't miss out on the hottest releases. And they are currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, after receiving your order confirmation email, reply back to that email and let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way. They will then apply a free shipping promotional credit to your next order in the US. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more.
All right, but that is my review of Resonant. I hope you all get a chance to check it out and pick it up at your local comic book store, at one of our sponsors. And remember, you can always find me, the amazing Amanda, every Wednesday on our show Reels Talk, usually at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time live. So if you want to check out the shenanigans that Uncanny Omar and I get into on Wednesdays, check us out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button. Remember to follow us on all of our social media channels at nearmintcon. Remember to check us out on Spreadshop for some of our great Near Mint Condition merchandise. And also check us out on Patreon. If you want to support us here in what we do and get some really cool perks along the way, make sure to check us out there. And then last but not least, like I always say on Reels Talk, if it's classy and cool, it must be near mint. Good journey, everyone. Thank you for watching.